In his quest to rule over humanity and become the master of the world, a man unleashed a horde of demons to gather power for him. However, every attempt was thwarted by Ichabod and Abbie, prompting him to take matters into his own hands to eliminate them. The Hidden One teleported directly into the archives, where Ichabod, upon seeing him, quickly grabbed a pistol from the desk, but with just a glance, the Hidden One raised the temperature of the pistol to 200 degrees Celsius. Following this, the Hidden One conjured a sphere of light, intending to kill Ichabod with it, but just as he was about to strike, a badge suddenly appeared and absorbed the energy from the sphere. The appearance of the badge instantly filled the Hidden One with fear. It turned out that this badge was called the Emblem of Thura, which had sealed him away in the past. Now, the Hidden One's power had reactivated the Emblem of Thura, sealing the entire archives with a barrier. Despite his immense power, the Hidden One was unable to escape from the archives in the short term. With the Emblem of Thura protecting him, Ichabod was no longer afraid of the Hidden One. However, to escape, they needed to break the barrier, prompting Ichabod to start looking through the archives once again. After all, he had always found a way to solve his problems there. Seeing that Ichabod needed to review the documents one by one, the Hidden One unleashed his power, causing all the information in the archives to start converging into his mind. Before long, the Hidden One had learned all the information in the documents, but unfortunately, there was no method to break the barrier. Meanwhile, Abbie, who had returned, was blocked outside by the barrier. Just as she was considering entering the archives through a tunnel, Pandora suddenly appeared. Pandora was not there to seek revenge on Abbie but to help rescue Ichabod inside. Pandora explained that the Emblem of Thura could seal all deities, with its power derived from those it had sealed. If the Hidden One recklessly resisted, the overflowing energy could create a catastrophic disaster, threatening everyone's lives. After hearing Pandora's explanation, Abbie realized the severity of the situation and called Joe and Jenny to help. When Pandora saw Joe, she immediately thought of a way to break the barrier. Joe had once been cursed and turned into a monster. Although he had been saved by Ichabod, the dark power still resided within him. By drawing out that dark power, they could generate enough force to shatter the barrier of the archives. Although this could potentially be fatal for Joe, he did not hesitate to agree to the plan to prevent the disaster. Pandora then drew a magical circle on the ground, and Joe, removing his shirt, stood in the middle. As Pandora's piece of the magic box emitted a green light, the dark power within Joe was soon summoned. However, midway through the ritual, Pandora revealed that she needed more pieces of the magic box. Abbie happened to have a piece, but she was reluctant to give it to Pandora, fearing that if the box was reassembled, Pandora's full power would be restored. In order to make Abbie and the others believe in her, Pandora began to play the emotional card and said that she had realized her mistake. For years, she had tried everything to revive the Hidden One, but he had merely used her as a servant. Pandora, tears streaming down her face, told Abbie that she had known all along they possessed the Emblem of Thura, but she had not revealed this information to the Hidden One. After hearing Pandora's words, Abbie felt somewhat shaken, especially with Ichabod still sealed in the archives. Ultimately, Abbie and the others decided to bring out the other half of the magic box fragment. As the two pieces of the magic box merged, a massive surge of green light flowed into Joe's body, continuously drawing the dark power and battering the barrier. Pandora had waited 1,000 years to resurrect the deceased the Hidden One, but upon his return, he treated her like a mere servant, casually commanding her and even continually draining her of her power. The prolonged oppression filled Pandora's heart with rage, but knowing she was no match for the Hidden One, she actively sought an alliance with Ichabod. The Hidden One had now summoned a golden hourglass, and if he acquired all the power within it, the entire world would be reshuffled. The only way to stop the Hidden One was to reforge the magic box, as only the power within the box could counter him. However, reforging the box required a journey back to the tomb in the underworld, so Pandora asked Ichabod and his group for help. Ichabod, upon hearing this, did not immediately agree but instead conveyed the information to Abbie. Knowing that they needed to return to the desolate tomb, Abbie's mood instantly turned volatile. After all, Abbie had experienced life in the tomb before, which had been the most despairing time of her life. Seeing Abbie so resistant, Ichabod quickly stated that if she did not agree, he would not participate either. But to prevent the Hidden One from destroying humanity, Abbie ultimately agreed to the cooperation. They then began searching for a way to return to the tomb. From General Washington's notes, it was learned that they too had once visited the tomb in the underworld, but unfortunately, no clear route was documented. This reminded Ichabod of his friend Betsy, who who had been part of that journey as well. Before leaving, Betsy had sewn a flag and decorated its edges with golden threads. No one knew what the flag represented, but Betsy had said it was her greatest achievement. It now seemed that the flag might contain the method to enter the tomb. Ichabod and Abbie then went to a museum, where a flag was hanging on the wall. Abbie took a photo with her phone and sent it to Jenny, but Ichabod noticed something was off. This flag was not made by Betsy. As they were inspecting it closely, a puff of smoke suddenly appeared beneath the flag, and Ichabod and Abbie immediately went down to the basement to investigate. As soon as they arrived, a large hand grabbed Abbie, followed by the entrance of a mummified corpse dressed in medieval clothing. The mummy was the guardian of the flag. Ichabod used brute force to knock the guardian to the ground. Then he quickly fled the scene with Abbie. When the guardian emerged from the basement, its body instantly turned into a puddle of water under the sunlight. Although they did not find the real flag this time, Jenny, who received the photo, discovered some clues. There were several special holes in the fake flag, which, after being processed on a computer, turned into musical notes that corresponded exactly to the first line of the national anthem. Upon hearing this news, Abbie and Ichabod immediately thought of a century-old statue in the town, but just as they were preparing to head there, the guardian reappeared. Seeing this, the officer quickly opened fire, but regular bullets could not harm the guardian. Angered, the guardian's palms suddenly produced fireballs and hurled them at them. Fortunately, Ichabod drove over the guardian, pinning it under the car, which allowed them to successfully escape. They arrived at the statue just in time, and when Abbie pressed the stone keys above it according to the melody, a secret door opened on the statue. Following the passage, they entered a secret room, where they indeed found the real flag. But as they were packing up the flag to leave, the guardian appeared silently again and threw fireballs at them without a word. In this way, the guardian was extinguished by a fire extinguisher. Afterward, Ichabod and the others took the flag outside. When a ray of morning sunlight hit the flag, a path leading to the tomb was instantly revealed. To stop the Hidden One from regaining his powers and destroying the earth, Abbie and Ichabod crossed the river Styx by boat to reach the tomb. But as soon as they landed, they discovered numerous bodies. Judging by their medieval attire, all these people were from the Middle Ages. Yet strangely, their bodies were perfectly preserved. Ichabod bent over to examine a male corpse more closely, but suddenly the corpse opened its eyes and lunged at him. Seeing this, Abbie quickly grabbed a long sword and cut through his body, but the fallen male corpse did not die completely. Eventually, Ichabod figured out the trick. He snatched a necklace from the corpse, and only then did the man on the ground truly lose his life. It turned out that the necklace was enchanted with black magic, granting immortality to anyone who wore it. After dealing with this, they made their way to the inner part of the tomb, aiming solely to repair the damaged magic box. Following the clues provided by Pandora, Abbie and Ichabod quickly found the secret chamber within the tomb. They placed the pieces of the magic box on the altar, and then Ichabod began reciting the spell inscribed there. As a stream of black smoke slowly rose, the magic box was soon restored to its former appearance, but this time the box did not emit any light. Ichabod noticed some text appearing on the wall, which revealed that restoring the magic box required the soul of a witness. While Ichabod was intently reading the inscription, the magic box behind him suddenly opened its lid. As streams of black smoke slowly drifted out, Abbie was immediately engulfed by the smoke. Ichabod rushed forward and forcefully closed the magic box. However, Abbie had still lost a part of her soul, which nourished the magic box, turning it gradually silver, while Abbie's body became significantly weakened. After a brief rest, they took the magic box and left the tomb. Meanwhile, Jenny and the others were also trying to stop the Hidden One. Following Pandora's suggestion, they inserted iron nails into specified positions. Once the nails formed a circle, they could release an energy barrier that isolated the Hidden One, limiting his power absorption. In order to buy them enough time, Pandora took the initiative to appear in front of the Hidden One. Faced with this woman who had betrayed him, the Hidden One forced Pandora to kneel on the ground. As time slowly passed, Sophie and the others finally inserted all the nails, and an energy barrier instantly arose. But what none of them expected was that the Hidden One simply waved his hand and sent out a shockwave, shattering the newly risen barrier and making it vanish into thin air. As the last grain of the sand of life fell, the Hidden One held up the golden hourglass and chanted a spell. with massive amounts of energy continuously flowing into his body. Soon, the Hidden One absorbed all the power and returned to his peak condition.
All that remains is his final wish. That this world shall...
He then sealed Pandora inside a mirror, intending to let her watch as he conquered the world. But just then, Abbie and Jenny suddenly arrived. They used Greek fire to distract the Hidden One's attention, while Ichabod took the opportunity to hand the restored magic box to Pandora. As Pandora recited the spell and opened the magic box, the caught off guard the Hidden One was instantly frozen in place, and his power rapidly began to drain. Just as the magic box was about to completely drain the Hidden One's power, it suddenly stopped. Pandora explained that the magic box was not fully restored, it needed the other half of Abbie's soul to consume the darkness. Hearing this, Ichabod immediately voiced his objection, but seeing the Hidden One's power gradually restoring, Abbie, ignoring Ichabod's protests, rushed forward and opened the magic box.
Let it speak to you. Give it your strength. Give it your hope. Give it your life! Never give up hope.
Thus, Abbie was sucked into the magic box, and the Hidden One lost all his power. Pandora, walking arrogantly up to the Hidden One, intended to make him kneel and beg for mercy, but Jenny raised her pistol and ended the Hidden One's life. To everyone's surprise, just after they dealt with the Hidden One, Pandora, who had just been cooperating with them, suddenly showed her true colors. Now possessing the powers of the Hidden One, Pandora was unmatched by anyone in this world, and she felt no guilt over Abbie's death. Facing Ichabod's desperate pleas, Pandora simply took the magic box and left the area, since Abbie had previously disappeared and was taken to the tomb. Ichabod believed she was not dead but trapped inside the magic box. To quickly locate Abbie, Ichabod retrieved a knight's skull he had long kept. Before long, the Headless Horseman appeared on his warhorse, a warrior formed from the power of death. Capable of harming any creature, Ichabod decided to team up with the Headless Horseman to defeat Pandora. After gaining the Headless Horseman's agreement, Ichabod threw the skull towards him. As lightning struck, the skull instantly lit up with blinding light. Seeing this, Pandora teleported into the graveyard, using the surrounding tombstones to attack the Headless Horseman, but he easily smashed them to pieces. As the Headless Horseman closed in on her, Pandora used magic to knock his weapon away. She then used the spikes on the fences to briefly hinder the Headless Horseman's movements. Pandora quickly summoned the magic box, and instantly the power of the Headless Horseman began to drain wildly. Seeing that the Headless Horseman was no match for Pandora, Ichabod rushed to help, but Pandora merely raised her hand and froze Ichabod in place. To completely seal the Headless Horseman, Pandora needed to focus entirely on activating the magic box. While Pandora was battling with the Headless Horseman, Ichabod sneaked up to a tree and pulled out the Headless Horseman's battle axe. After the Headless Horseman left, Ichabod and Jenny confronted Pandora, demanding that she immediately release Abbie from the magic box. But Pandora told them that Abbie was already dead and not inside the box. As Pandora raised her hand to destroy the magic box, Ichabod quickly grabbed it and ran to the cellar. Accompanied by a huge explosion, Ichabod's mind was filled with the scene of his first meeting with Abbie. The scene shifted, and they were back in the archives. Abbie told Ichabod that her mission was over and that this place was a stopping point between life and death. Ichabod understood that this was their final meeting. Over the years, they had faced various dangers together, from initially not trusting each other to becoming partners in perfect sync. They had long considered each other family, but fate always plays such tricks. In the end, they still faced their parting.
I shall miss you.
Honor our bond. Do more than that. And be brave. I know you will be. You're my guy. Always. My. Still my beating heart.